Afternoon. Thank you all for joining our virtual panel discussion today about the highly anticipated brand new AdventHealth Palm Coast Parkway facility. My name is Sky Kellogg and I'm your host for today's event. As a member of the corporate human resources team at AdventHealth for the last 3.5 years, I am thrilled to be guiding this insightful conversation today. Throughout this discussion, I will be posing questions to our distinguished panelists that you can see here with me, and they are representing AdventHealth Palm Coast Parkway. Our aim is to provide you, our listening audience, with a comprehensive understanding of our brand and, of course, what sets us apart in the industry. We hope that today's conversation will inspire you to consider becoming a part of the AdventHealth family, specifically Palm Coast Parkway. As you learn more about us and our new facility, I encourage you to attend our walk-in interview events. Our walk-in interviews happen across the system every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to noon. These are currently taking place for AdventHealth Palm Coast Parkway, our AdventHealth Palm Coast facility. This unique opportunity allows you to meet our team in person and, of course, explore the range of exciting career possibilities available to you at AdventHealth. Once again, we appreciate your presence here today, and we are excited to begin this informative discussion together. It is now my pleasure to introduce our esteemed panelists. Panelists, if you could begin by sharing your title, what your role involves, and then how long you've been with AdventHealth, and we will start with Mary Brady.
Hi, Sky, and everybody out there. My name is Mary Brady. I am the Vice President and Chief Nursing Officer for the market of Flagler and St. John counties, and very excited to be a part of you today. I have been at this particular hospital since October, but I have been with AdventHealth since 2011 and opened up AdventHealth Wesley Chapel way back then.
Thank you so much, Mary. And Alicia?
Hi, good morning or afternoon now. My name is Alicia, and I am the HR Director for AdventHealth Palm Coast and soon to be AdventHealth Palm Coast Parkway. I've been with AdventHealth since 2017, and I am excited to share some insights with you today and be a part of this discussion.
Thank you so much. And Mary Radcliffe?
Hi, everyone. My name is Mary Radcliffe. I'm the Director of Emergency Services here at AdventHealth Palm Coast, and will also be at AdventHealth Palm Coast Parkway. I'm very excited to have this emergency department be an added resource to our community, and I look forward to talking to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary. And Tammy?
Good afternoon. Hi, I'm Tammy Cornelius. I'm the Director of Cardiovascular and Cardiopulmonary Services here at AdventHealth Palm Coast and AdventHealth Palm Coast Parkway. I've been with AdventHealth since 2015 at the Palm Coast site, and I'm so looking forward to speaking to everyone today and giving you some information about our amazing organization.
Thank you, Tammy. And finally, John.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is John Newman. I am the Director of Facilities for AdventHealth Palm Coast, as well as AdventHealth Palm Coast Parkway. I've been with AdventHealth just over 18 years, started back in early 2005, and I'm very excited to be a part of this panel this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And thank you all so much for participating in this event today. We are thrilled to be able to give you some more insight into this new facility. For our listening audience, just as a reminder, your mics have been placed on mute. However, we highly encourage you to share comments and questions in our chat. So you will utilize that chat function throughout this discussion, and we will make sure that we are watching that and someone is attending to the chat currently, and then we will save any questions that are not covered during the discussion for the end of our conversation today. So again, we value your participation and look forward to an interactive session this afternoon. So to begin, can you give a brief overview of AdventHealth Palm Coast Parkway? And I'm going to start with Mary Brady on that, just giving us an overview of what the community is like, how many beds this facility will have, just to share some insight to our listening audience.
Sure. So at AdventHealth Palm Coast and Palm Coast Parkway, we are located in the city of Palm Coast, which is on the east side of Florida. It is right in the middle of St. Augustine and Daytona Beach. We are known for our beautiful beaches, for our 125 miles of walking paths, biking paths, golf courses, dozens of parks. It truly is an amazing place to live. And as far as Palm Coast Parkway Hospital, it is going to be a 100-bed acute care hospital. We're going to have 80 med surg rooms. We're going to have 20 ICU, PCU rooms, a 24-bed emergency room, 5 operating suites. We're going to open with 3 to start, and then we'll grow the other 2. 2 cath labs with 1 opening up, 2 endo suites, the latest in technology for CT scanners and everything else, and also 2 stress labs. Here at Palm Coast Hospital, we have, it's also a 99-bed facility with all the same services that I talked about at Parkway. So definitely Parkway is going to be a wonderful complement to our facility here.
Thank you, Mary. And Mary, a lot of our guests are probably inquiring as to why we decided to build another facility, of course, in the Palm Coast area. So if you could just give us an overview as to why that decision was made and how this will benefit the community overall.
Sure. Our hospital here at Palm Coast is a 99-bed facility. Yeah, every day we run a census of about 140. This winter, we actually got up to 190 patients. So we are definitely an overcrowded facility. And that's due to the growth in the area because people are really just starting to discover what a wonderful place Palm Coast is. And we've had a lot of people moving here. So we have completely outgrown our facility. So that was the reason that we have built Parkway. And it's, as I said before, it's just going to be a great complement to our hospital. And I know the community is very much looking forward to going to a hospital that is not so overcrowded.
Most definitely. And of course, it is wonderful that AdventHealth has been reviewing this and keeping an eye out, putting the community first, right, to ensure that the proper services are there for everyone. And I see in the chat that we have several people that have just moved to that area. So yes, as you said, Mary, very popular, and excited that you are here with us and that you've moved to this new area.
It's truly been, and it has been described as this little hidden gem on the Florida coastline. And it really, truly is. But everybody's starting to discover this wonderful hidden gem.
And thank you so much for that overview, Mary. I now want to go into a brief department overview, just so everyone on the call today can get a better understanding of what you all cover and what that involves. So if we could start with Mary Radcliffe, and if you could, Mary, just give us an overview of the ER and what your role involves with that, and what are some advances that you have in that area.
Sure. So in our emergency department, we care for a variety of patients, although, the population here in Palm Coast is with a lot of the elderly retired community. We also see our share of children and young adults. As Mary said earlier, it is a very busy ER. It's small, but it's mighty. So, we are not only just very busy, but we truly work well with our other departments. I not only just oversee the emergency department, I also see our patient transport and our central monitoring unit, but I also work hand in hand with Tammy and her team with the cath lab. We have a lot of patients that come in for strokes, STEMIs, that need to have things done quickly. So we truly work as a team and get the patient taken care of in the safest and most effective way. I see a lot of questions in the chat already popping up about positions at AdventHealth. There's so many questions out there. I want to answer them all. But we're going to have positions in every department, but mainly for us, they're the emergency department. Palm Coast has grown so much. I've been here for 10 years, and this new hospital is really going to be able to allow us to better care for our patients in a more timely fashion, decreasing the wait times in the waiting room, and them, being able to have bed space upstairs when they get admitted. So I'm excited for what we're going to be able to bring to the community.
Thank you so much, Mary. And Tammy, would you mind giving an overview as well?
Yes. So because we are able to mirror Parkway to our original Palm Coast site, We will be able to care for patients in that cardiovascular service line at both areas. We will have cath labs at both hospitals. Certainly Mary had said that we were opening with one, and we do have a shelf space already for the second one. So we will be able to offer a full complement of cardiovascular services, including interventional cardiology eventually at both sites. Additionally, stress testing, EKG monitoring. We have a full service respiratory therapy department and cardiac rehab, so that we're able to meet the community needs at both ends for whatever they should possibly need in that cardiovascular service line.
Thank you, Tammy. And switching gears to John. John, if you could give us a little bit of insight as to what the preparation was like for this new facility, and sharing everything that your role typically covers. And we'll take some questions in the chat later on, I'm sure, in regards to these areas. But go ahead, John.
Sure, thank you. So as a director of facilities, I have a number of departments that fall underneath me. Those include engineering, biomedical engineering, environmental services, security, construction, and I also oversee our safety and emergency management programs for AdventHealth Palm Coast, as well as AdventHealth Palm Coast Parkway. So a quick little snapshot of each one of those departments. Our engineering department are the folks who maintain the physical environment of our facility, which is super important as a healthcare organization and a hospital specifically. We fall under numerous compliance regulations for different authorities having jurisdiction. It could be at the federal level, state level, or even the local level. And so our engineering team plays a very integral role in ensuring that we maintain our physical environment and are compliant to those regulations. Our biomedical team is our folks who work on our medical equipment. So we have lots of clinical equipment in our facilities, thousands of pieces of equipment, as a matter of fact. And so we have a team dedicated to maintaining that equipment. Again, that's both a compliance perspective, and certainly we want to make sure that our equipment performs at an optimal level to provide excellent patient care and ensure that our patients are safe when they're using our equipment. Environmental services is the group that performs cleaning throughout the facility. And that could be general cleaning as well as patient care areas. So our folks go into patient rooms every day and perform daily services to ensure we have a clean environment for our patients that are in our hospital. And they also perform our discharge cleaning processes as well. Once our patients leave our facility, we have a very specific procedure that we follow to ensure that that room is prepped and ready to go for our next patient. So it's a critical work that takes place to ensure that our patients are safe. And then security is just that. We provide security services for both facilities. We are currently recruiting our security team for the new campus, but we provide 24/7 security coverage for both campuses, and we do proactive patrols as well as respond to calls. And our team is a very well trained and experienced group. We typically, we look at background and securities as far as recruiting, military background, law enforcement, corrections, with this area in Palm Coast also still largely being a retirement community as well. We are able to take advantage of some folks that may be finishing their career in law enforcement or the military, moving into the area, and then they can come and join our team to help provide security services. So that's another very important function that we provide. Construction, of course, this panel is focused on the new hospital. So as part of my role, I work closely with our project team at the new campus throughout the project. And this has been a long journey, over a year since we've started. And, we're getting close to the finish line. Just regarding compliance, we fall under a lot of different inspections for the new campus. We actually have our final inspection next week, which is a very big deal for us. So we're working hard to be prepared for that and looking forward to that inspection activity coming up here in about a week. So, but we're closely with the team, making sure that as the building's being constructed, it's meeting the needs of both our future patients and our employees that'll be working in that facility. And then also we do a lot of equipment coordinating. So right now, of course, with us being so close to occupying the facility, we're working hard to ensure that we have all the equipment that we need in place. It's being inventoried, tested, and inspected. So it'll be ready to go when we're ready to start seeing patients in that facility.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you for sharing that detail with our team. I think it's easy for some of us joining to forget, right, that there are so many different areas outside of clinical roles that support the facility that allow it to operate day in and day out. So thank you for that insight and for everything that your team does to support Palm Coast and Palm Coast Parkway. Mary, would you mind giving an overview of your department for us? I'm sorry, Mary Brady, you're on mute.
There we go. I have the majority of the clinical departments reporting up through me, and they're going to be across both hospitals. We are using the same leaders in all my clinical departments for both hospitals, which will provide great continuity between the two facilities, as well as allow the same staff members will be going over there. So that allows us to provide great continuity of care in the clinical areas.
Thank you so much. And finally, Alicia, if you would mind giving us a brief overview of your area as well.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Sky. So the HR department here in the hospital setting really serves as a support mechanism really for a positive work environment. And we sort of act like a bridge between leadership, team members, and management. And I feel that we play a vital role in supporting and taking care of our teams so that they can have time to focus on providing excellent patient care. So with that being said, I really like to think of an HR department as culture keepers. So we strive to focus on the human aspect of human resources when it comes to serving our hospital community. And what that means for us is really being present on the floors as much as possible. We have a small team here at the hospital, and we are about to assume dual leadership role over our new hospital at Parkway. And so we really want to make sure that we continue the culture of support in the healthcare space, because we realize that, our clinical employees and our supporting departments are busy taking care of patients. So we really strive on being that support mechanism from benefits perspective, payroll questions, and really try to bring HR related topics to them versus having them seek us out.
Thank you so much, Elisa. I appreciate that overview, and that is so helpful and so true in regards to how vital it is to have that human connection and support for all of our nursing and critical care staff. So thank you. Next, I want to direct the conversation to how this new facility will be a little bit different in some ways than our current facility. So Mary Radcliffe, if you could just go over how this new location specifically will impact the ER.
Sure. So for the emergency department, it's really just going to be able to allow us to be able to care for more patients in a more timely fashion. Palm Coast, as we've talked about, it has grown and is, people are coming every day and moving to Palm Coast, but, space is limited in our current campus. So it will definitely be an added benefit on the north side of Palm Coast, just to be able to capture those patients and, allow them to have a better experience as they come through in decreasing wait times and, hopefully being able to get them admitted in a more timely fashion and just, be able to give them an overall improved experience with just having more space to be able to care for them.
Definitely. Thank you, Mary. And in regards to the physical location of the new Palm Coast Parkway facility, I believe it's right next door to something, correct? That may make some of our ER nurses on the call excited in regards to the number of visits you may see each day.
Yes, it is located next to one of our busiest fire stations. So our EMS station is there, and it serves that whole north end of the campus and Palm Coast in general. So it's very busy. It is our busiest station. So it will definitely be able to help spread that wealth per se, to be able to balance out where the patients are going, and also be able to gauge. They'll communicate with us when they have a patient. Obviously, if the patient is emergent, they're going to take them to wherever the closest facility is going to be. But if it's something that would be better suited maybe to come to the original Palm Coast campus, then they'll be able to communicate with the physician and make that determination, and then be able to better balance our volumes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And John, I know you spoke to this a little bit earlier, but was there anything else that you would like to add, just to give the audience today a little more insight as to how your team has prepared for this new facility?
Sure, I'd love to. Especially at this point in the project, it's kind of the sprint to the finish. We're excited about our final inspection, and then ultimately moving into the new campus and getting ready to provide patient care. There's a lot of moving parts right now, a lot of things happening, both on the project side as well as the owner side. So, we're on weekly calls with the project team. So there's things that fall under the project team's responsibility. And when I reference project team, that would be, our general contractor that's actually constructing the facility, as well as our professional design team, which is our architects and engineers. So we, as an owner, we work closely with them to ensure that things that fall under their responsibility are being accounted for, and then also things that fall under our responsibility, that we're staying on schedule with those items. So right now a lot of it's coordination, specifically to my teams. We have to focus on things like what we call key mapping, right? So a building of that size has a lot of locks. So something that we have to coordinate very carefully is how we key the building to provide appropriate access for our staff and for our visitors. We've leveraged, a lot of technology in that building through our building automation system. So we can do a lot through that system. It's very heavy in access control, which is great because we can really control the flow of both our employees and visitors throughout that hospital to make sure that we're keeping areas that need to be secure, and also ensure that there's appropriate patient and visitor flow in the public areas as well. So a lot of different things going on there. So right now it's a lot of owner coordination with all of our departments really prepping to move in. So we work closely with both the project team and our internal departments to ensure that we have a smooth transition into the new facility. So that's just a little snapshot of what we got going on right now. There's a lot more, but hopefully that's helpful.
Definitely. Thank you, John. Yeah, so many details. And I appreciate you sharing that insight for our audience today. And as we've heard, even though we know that these facilities will have similar offerings, Alicia, can you speak to what these facilities will share that will set them apart as a whole?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Sky. So obviously we have an amazing culture. I think every leader here on this panel would agree that we have a unique culture where it's more like a family feeling. But I would like to talk a little bit about an item that really sets us apart in the market, and that is that we have an on-site state-of-the-art simulation lab training center. And it really provides a unique, a very immersive learning experience for all of our nurses, whether they're new to our organization or have just graduated. This sim lab offers very realistic training, and it uses interactive mannequins that allow our nurses to really practice their skills. So it's an amazing, amazing state-of-the-art lab, and I'm just very excited to share about it because if I'm not mistaken, we are basically one of a kind in the region that has this facility And it just really sets us apart because it provides that learning curve for nurses to really experience training in a different way. So one of the cool things that I guess I'd like to share is that we have a command center with employees that work remotely and provide, interaction with these nurses or with clinical students in this lab. And it doesn't just allow them to learn in a clinical way, but it also puts them in scenarios that teach them how to interact with patients' families as they're going through the difficult situations, and just really is a state-of-the-art learning tool for our new team members. So I think it really does set us apart from some of the other facilities.
Thank you so much, Alicia. And outside of the sim lab, which is obviously an incredible asset that you all have that sets you apart, not just from other AdventHealth facilities, but from other facilities just across the state. Tammy, could you give us some insight, just what other technology that you have that continues to set you apart from other facilities?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. The procedural areas at both AdventHealth Palm Coast and Palm Coast Parkway are state of the art. So from our cath labs, our intervention, which is hybrid with our interventional radiology lab, our radiology department with a brand new MRI and CT machines, even our OR has robotics. So we are able to challenge our employees to be able to work at the top of their licensure with the state-of-the-art newest equipment that is exciting for them as a professional, but also then provides for our patients much more ease of access for procedures that originally they would have to go to large cities for. And now we provide that services right here in their backyard for them.
Thank you so much, Tammy. And of course, as you can see, we are sharing resources between these facilities and continue to encourage each other to have the best options available for our patients. But how overall, as a leadership team, Mary Brady, if you could speak to the fact that you are ensuring that the level of care is mirrored at both Palm Coast and Palm Coast Parkway.
Sure, Sky. So as I mentioned, our leaders are the same at both facilities. So the expectations at both facilities will be exactly the same, which is given the highest level of quality care and providing for exceptional patient experience. Anybody who will be working over at Parkway some people are already in training for Parkway. Some will be coming on within the next month or 2 months, but they will train here. They'll learn all of our processes that we've put in place here, and then that will make for a very smooth transition over to Parkway. So we're looking forward to being able to provide those top level services in both facilities.
Thank you so much, Mary. And overall, AdventHealth, we really focus on providing whole person care. It ties in with our mission, which is to extend the healing ministry of Christ. So if you could, Mary Radcliffe, just talk a little bit more about what whole person care means to you and to us as an organization.
Sure. So whole person care to us here at AdventHealth really wants to focus on your mind, body, and spirit, not just getting your medical issues taken care of. So we work really hard with the staff to make sure that they are having those discussions with the patients, talking about maybe resources, things they may need when they go home, when they're discharged. So that way they are included in the care that they're receiving, and they're also able to provide their insight on maybe what they feel they may be lacking when they get home, or what's keeping them from feeling comfortable getting discharged and going home, and also incorporating their family. So that way, if that's who's going to be helping and be their caretaker when they get home, they are able to understand what the patient needs, and then also, just take into account and doing all of that with compassion and love and extending the healing ministry of Christ through all those aspects.
Thank you, Mary. And Tammy, did you have any additional insight to share in regards to what that looks like for you and how it may differ in the cath lab?
Absolutely. So whole person care is that holistic care. A patient is never discharged from AdventHealth. We truly want to have every step of their health process be connected, whether that is preventative care, acute care, rehabilitation, really to have people that can live the highest quality of their life with themselves, with their families, with their community, and always having AdventHealth be able to be with them every step of the journey.
Thank you so much. And as we've been discussing, we know that AdventHealth as a whole really truly cares about the communities that we are located in and those that we serve, and ensuring that we're giving the highest quality of care. And this team that you're speaking with today plays so many different roles in helping that be accomplished every single day. When we look at this overall, as even though Palm Coast already has a footprint in the community, Mary Brady, could you just talk about how AdventHealth has ingrained itself in this community over the years, and how this is just an extension of the work that's been done?
Yeah, we really have ingrained ourselves into the community. We, being the only provider in the county, as far as hospital services go, we really are an integral part of the community. And we do so many different events in the community. We do cancer screenings, health screenings, sponsor 5K races for diabetes, for ortho, for breast cancer. We contribute annually over $14 million per year back into the community to support the charity care that we have out in the community. As well as we do sports physicals. We sponsor the Boy Scouts of America, the Professional Women of Flagler County. So we are ingrained in every single level of the community.
Thank you, Mary. And that certainly speaks to the level of promise that we live out, right, to care for the whole person in so many different ways. So thank you for sharing that. And I do hope that was insightful for our audience to see the multiple ways that we give back to the community, specifically in your area. And all of us, I know, have a story as to why we originally chose AdventHealth. We had a different calling to join this organization for many different reasons. But if we could, I would love to hear your story, Alicia, as to how you got started with us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sky. So my decision to choose AdventHealth as my employer really stemmed from what I consider quite a remarkable experience that unfolded during my interview. So when I applied for the position, at the time it was an HR manager position, I connected with my former director for a phone interview, and while conversing with him for the position, he actually interrupted our interview process and asked me to hang on for a few minutes. So I was a little taken aback. That doesn't typically happen during interview process. But when he asked me to hang on for a few minutes, he inadvertently left me unmuted. So I was privy to hearing what was happening in the background. And what was happening is he was on his way home. We were on the phone. He pulled over, got out of his car, and I heard him ask someone on the side of the road if they needed assistance because he saw that someone was in distress. And so in that moment, it was like an aha moment for me because I really witnessed an embodiment of AdventHealth's mission, right? To extend the healing ministry of Christ. And so this display of his compassion and his selflessness was so authentic to me and really a profound testament of what AdventHealth is about. So I immediately realized right at that moment that this is a place I want to be. This is a person I want to work with and learn from. And so to be completely honest, I have not regretted my decision since then. And I can tell you firsthand, being here for almost 6 years now, we still very much display that passion, and we truly extend the healing ministry in that way to our patients and our team members.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Alicia. And I know your dedication and your drive to be a part of this organization is so inspiring. And thank you for sharing that. So we all can, understand where that comes from, and also knowing, how far do you come to be a part of this organization, right? I know Alicia drives quite far to be able to make it to work each day, and she chooses to do that day in and day out because of her dedication specifically to being at Palm Coast. And there's so many stories of that across AdventHealth, of those that are dedicated, right, to the facility, even if it's not the closest one to their home, because they've built a family there. So thank you for sharing that. And John, if you could share some insight from your end as well as to how you joined AdventHealth.
Sure. I actually have somewhat of a similar story to Alicia's, in the sense that a big part of the impact that AdventHealth had on me was early on, and actually during my interview as well, 18 years ago. And I was fresh out of the military, and my wife had just finished college. We were starting our family and looking for the next chapter in our careers, or really starting our careers. And my background in the military was engineering, so that crosses over a number of industries, of course. But I decided to pursue an engineering career in healthcare, and an opportunity came up at our Orman Memorial facility. And what was interesting about the interview was that we were living out of state at the time, but my wife grew up in Flagler County, so we were coming down to visit her family for a Thanksgiving holiday that year. And so we were only going to be in town for about 3 or 4 days, and I was able to schedule an interview while I was in town. However, the interview had to take place during a holiday for the hospital. So what was to be my department that I was moving into, or being hired into, engineering, it was a holiday for them. So my potential supervisor who performed the interview had to come in on his day off to interview me because I was only going to be in town for a few days. So of course, that made me super nervous, right? Because I'm like, my potential supervisors I'm already starting off on the wrong foot, because I had to make him come in on his day off to interview me. So of course I was nervous to see how that interview was going to start, but it was amazing. Right from the get-go, I could tell, that this was going to be an amazing place to work. And we ended up having a very lengthy interview, and a few days later I got a phone call, and next thing you know, I'm working for AdventHealth. And that initial experience with my supervisor at the time, who was a leader, right, really set the tone, I think, for what was to come throughout the last 2 decades that I've been with AdventHealth. And that is, one of the things that I think sets us apart is our leadership team, both senior leadership and executive team. We're servant leaders, we lead by example. And I think our teams reflect that. If someone was to join AdventHealth, I think you quickly find that, the culture that we have fosters not just a teamwork environment, but it's like a family. It's a family environment. And, by nature of a lot of our roles, sometimes we move from one campus to another, depending on needs and opportunities. And I've done that throughout my time with AdventHealth. And what I will say is that, specific to AdventHealth Palm Coast, and I love all of our campuses that I've worked at, anytime I've left Palm Coast, I was ready to come back, because the culture here is just, I think, standalone. So yeah, and going back to that initial experience, and then 18 years later, my impression, my feelings towards this organization, and certainly this campus, is only emphasized every day. Every day we come in, we all work hard and do everything to provide a very important service for our community. And I'm very proud to be a part of that.
Thank you so much for sharing that, John. And like you said, John, both you and Alicia have stories that start right at the interview process, right before you even entered the door of AdventHealth. And I want to use this time again to remind our participants, especially those that are close enough, to be able to drive to the Palm Coast facility, I should say. You can start joining us on Wednesdays again from 10 to 12 and get some experience meeting with our managers, see what the facility is like. And we have those walk-in interviews every Wednesday. Again, they are happening at the Palm Coast facility for our Palm Coast Parkway facility. So just keep that in mind and just know that could be the start of a whole new chapter in your life. So thank you both for sharing those stories. Next, I want to go into a little bit more of our culture here at AdventHealth. So as you can see, we're all wearing heart badges. And for those of you that are not familiar with them, Tammy, would you mind talking about why we wear them and what they mean to us as an organization?
Absolutely, Sky. So on one of your first days here, when you're hired at AdventHealth, you're given this heart badge and it says, "I care for you like mine." And what it is we're encouraging people to put the most important person or people in their lives there. It is our individual promise to every patient that I am going to care for you like the most important person in my life. That's a sacred promise from all of us, that patients are people and we want them to feel that way. We want them to feel that in any of the care that they receive at AdventHealth. On my heart, it has my grandmother, Dorothy. So I'm a third generation nurse in my family, and my grandmother was an amazing nurse. Of course, I'm going to think she was the best nurse in the whole world, but certainly the connection she had with her patients and how she cared for them like she cared for me, her family. And they all felt that love from her every day. That's what we try to include. It helps us to remind ourselves as well. Every patient, every visitor, everyone that we interact as a representative of AdventHealth, you're the most important, most special person in my life to me. And it's great to have that daily reminder for all of us, no matter what position you hold in this hospital, from our highest CEO to any entry-level position that's lucky that we get to have you here with us. We want everyone to feel that importance and feel our heart every day.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Tammy, and thank you for sharing who is on your heart and who inspires you. And it's a great reminder for all of you that are in the audience today that, hopefully you are inspired by that as well. And knowing that when you join the organization, you get to have that daily reminder with you as well. And I would love to get some more insight too, and we're going back to our mission and how the mission of AdventHealth has impacted your career. Mary Brady, would you mind speaking to that and just talking about how it's impacted you day to day, and then of course just how you got into nursing and how you started your journey with us?
I got into nursing. I knew I was always going to be a nurse. When I was a little girl, I knew I was going to be a nurse. It's all I ever wanted to be, was a nurse. So right out of high school, I started nursing school and became a nurse. I worked mainly in the for-profit world. And then I had the opportunity to interview down at Wesley Chapel to open up this new hospital. And I told my husband, I said, "Oh, I don't want to live in Florida," because we were in South Carolina. God, I don't want to really live in Florida, but I really want to know what's going on. This is so great. They're opening a new hospital. So we came down, and the mission of AdventHealth is palpable. With every single person I interviewed, they lived the mission. I could see it in the hospital I was at to interview in. I could see it with the leaders I spoke to. And at the end of the day, I went and told my husband, I said, "I don't know how we're going to do it, but I need to open this hospital and I need to be at this hospital and be with AdventHealth." And my husband was like, "Well, were you offered the job?" I'm like, "No, not yet, but I need to be there." So lo and behold, I was offered the job, came down, and I have to say at AdventHealth, we truly do live our mission. And it is the extending the healing ministry of Christ. And it, for us, it's all about the patients. With every decision, me, the executive team with me, my leaders, we make, the first question is always, what is the impact on the patients of this decision? And that's how we base what we do every single day. So I can't imagine working anyplace else other than AdventHealth, because if you really, you're in this clinical world, these are hard jobs. There's no doubt, hospital work is hard work, but as John said, we come to work, we do our best, and every day we are working to extend the healing ministry of Christ, and there's just no better place to work.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Mary. And for those of you that are on the call today that maybe are not in the clinical space, John, would you mind sharing how this mission of extending the healing ministry of Christ still impacts your day-to-day and means something to you on the non-clinical side of things?
Absolutely. So, as I mentioned earlier on, I've got a number of departments that report to me on the support services side. So, while we're not providing direct patient care, we provide the environment and the tools and equipment to provide that patient care. So, from a engineering and even environmental services perspective, maintaining the physical environment in a way that keeps our patients safe is of utmost importance to us. So that certainly would be something that translates into the mission, right? Because that would be one way for us to extend the healing ministry of Christ to our patients, is to provide a safe environment for them to heal in. So that's a priority for us. Certainly, that crosses over into our biomedical team as well, right? Because the medical equipment that we use to care for our patients needs to function properly and function as intended. So there's a lot of work that we do proactively to make sure that equipment does just that, and assist with that patient care as needed. And certainly with our security team also is very proactive in helping patients, visitors. Could be wayfinding, it could be vehicle assistance. Certainly, there are times where we have to deal with certain situations to ensure that the safety of our patients and visitors and staff is maintained. So a lot of work goes on both behind the scenes and front of house as well. So I think all of those examples reflect how we can extend the healing ministry of Christ to our patients and visitors. And that also includes our employees as well. So again, kind of going back to my earlier reference to our culture, as a team here, we also extend the healing ministry of Christ to each other as our employees and our coworkers and colleagues. So we help each other out. We could share one story after another of maybe an employee going through some type of hardship or something, and other employees helping them out without even being prompted to do so because they thought it was the right thing to do. So that happens all the time here, and it's another reason why I love being a part of this team. And it's our intent to extend that culture into AdventHealth Palm Coast Parkway when we open it.
Thank you so much, John. And as we come to the end of this conversation, I want to ensure that we have some time to talk about more detailed opportunities of what AdventHealth has in regards to growth. So Mary Radcliffe, would you say that your facility is a learning organization, and what are some examples of how you facilitate growth there?
Absolutely. I definitely feel that AdventHealth is a great corporation that wants to see that their employees have the opportunity to grow, and they offer many opportunities for their employees. I have had entry-level employees that come in and have worked in my departments in patient transport, or employees that have worked in like our food and nutritional services that have had the aspirations to want to do something clinical. So then they reach out to one of the clinical managers and we just kind of talk to them. We find out what they want to do. We've had them grow, coming into patient transport, getting familiar with patients, working with patients, seeing what that's like, and then having aspirations to move on to other things, whether it be in radiology or nursing or going to be a monitor tech. Our education is key in that. They offer many, probably 2 to 3 times a year, they offer expos that we have the local colleges or online colleges that are available as resources for our employees. So I definitely feel like that we do a great job at being able to offer opportunities for growth here.
And could you also speak to the opportunities that you have specifically for GNs at your facility?
Sure. So we do have a great nurse residency program here. When our nursing students are in their last semester of school, they can also kind of move into what we call an advanced nurse tech. It kind of gets them out on the floor, seeing the life of the nurse, being able to participate hands-on, learning some of those clinical skills before they graduate. And then also once they graduate until they get their boards passed, actually working hand in hand with a nurse as an advanced nurse tech. And then our nurse residency program, once they pass their NCLEX, we have a couple different tracks that they can look into. We have recently, over the last probably 5 years, offered an ED track specifically for our nurse residents that are interested in wanting to go into emergency departments. Also, we have one for critical care. And, it's a great 12 to 16 week program, just depending on which avenue, which, idea of nursing that you want to go to, but it's very structured. It gives you a great mentoring support system with nurses that are already in the program. You are able to contact with them up through the first year of your nursing, as well as having a group of students that have recently graduated with you, and you're able to collaborate and learn and bounce ideas and, struggles maybe just coming into getting out of school and then getting out into the workforce. And then also, encouraging them once they get here and they get started, maybe if they want to move on to get their BSN or go on to get their master's. So we have a great nursing program here, a great basis for them starting out as residents. And we also have a program that nurses maybe that's been out of acute care, maybe been more in a nursing home setting or a clinic setting that wants to get back into the hospital. We also have a program that is structured for them. They know how to be a nurse, but coming back into the hospital setting, maybe it's been 5-10 years for them and things have changed and, processes are different. So, we work really hard to be able to capture all the different avenues of nursing.
Thank you so much, Mary Radcliffe. I appreciate that. And I hope that insight was helpful especially for those who may be new nurses or graduating soon that have joined us today. And I appreciate that insight. Next, I want to jump to Mary Brady. Mary, if you could talk about what AdventHealth is currently doing to become a highly reliable organization and what that means to our listeners today.
Sure. So we focus on this every single day. We want 0 defects in care, in quality, and we strive for that, and we believe we can get to that. There's no doubt we can get to that. We have processes that we've set up where we're pulling reports several times throughout the 24 hours to see where we are in our care. We meet twice a day to review those reports. If there is something that hasn't been done, each leader talks to what's their plan to get that particular process done. And we take this very serious. This is the most important job that we have, is providing that high quality of care with 0 defects in it. And the same with patient experience. That there are lots of things, processes we've put in place to ensure our patients have the very best experience when they're with us, and they see that care that we feel towards them, and they can appreciate that care that we're giving.
Thank you so much. And I know we are coming close to the end of the conversation here. So I do want to allow some of you to be able to share what you're looking for when you're interviewing a candidate. So Tammy, if you don't mind, I'll pass it to you and just share a little bit of insight with us in regards to what you'll be looking for someone who'd be coming into your department.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you. I think I can speak for all the leaders in this as far as what we're looking for. We're looking for people that fit with our culture. We are incredibly motivated to teach people and to help them learn on how to care for patients and what they inspire to be, either as they start or where they end as far as their careers are concerned. But we're looking for people that want to learn, that want to care for patients, that help them feel whole. We really truly want to create an atmosphere that not only are we caring for patients, but that we're caring for each other. So we're looking for candidates that are invested in making this not just somewhere where they show up every day, but somewhere that they want to be and that they want to be employed at, that it's not just a job, but it's a career and a life to them.
Thank you so much, Tammy. And for some of the questions that I've seen come through in the chat, would anyone be able to speak to what we have in regards to non-clinical roles, and then whether or not we have part-time opportunities as a whole, as at the Palm Coast Parkway facility? We can start with non-clinical. If Alicia or John, if you wouldn't mind just sharing just a couple examples of what some of those non-clinical roles that may be still looking to be hired for the new facility.
Yes, Sky, absolutely. So I just want to bring your attention back to what Ashley had posted earlier. We have positions opening up all the time. And when I say positions, I mean a lot of positions, both clinical and non-clinical. So the best way to figure out the non-clinical roles that are posted is by going to the website, our hiring website, which is adventhealth.com/careers. If you just type that in Google, it'll take you there. It's also posted in the chat. But from time to time, we look for non-clinical roles like administrative assistants or techs or something in the patient access department. So it just depends on what department has what needs. But I strongly would encourage everyone who's looking to really visit our hiring website, sorted by location, and all of the positions will come up and you can make an informed decision of what is the best fit for you.
Thank you, Alicia. And if you could, just to wrap up the conversation today, just share a brief overview of what they can expect when joining the AdventHealth family in regards to benefits, so they know what type of opportunities they have to look forward to with us.
Absolutely. So AdventHealth is awesome when it comes to benefits. And I'm not just saying that, because I'm in HR, but there's an array of benefits that is being offered to all who are full-time employees or part-time employees. And they include benefits from day one, where you get 24 hours of PTO right away when you start, employee assistance program, health benefits, there's tuition assistance, and tuition loan repayment, which is a great program for anybody that is trying to, work on those student loans. We also offer relocation assistance, employee discount programs through our PerkSpot website, and you can really get discounts from various items, ranging from concert tickets to vacation packages. So there's a lot to list. I strongly encourage you to check out our website. A lot of that is listed there as well. But we take care of our team members. So strongly encourage you to apply and join our team.
Thank you so much, Alicia. And thank you all again for everyone that has joined us today. And thank you for being a part of this discussion, panelists, and for sharing your insight and your heart with those that have listened to us today. So as we come to a close of this virtual panel discussion, we want to express our deepest gratitude for joining. The insights and perspectives shared by these panelists have truly provided us with a deeper understanding of AdventHealth, and then specifically AdventHealth Palm Coast Parkway, the opportunities that lie ahead for us there. So don't forget to mark your calendars for, again, our upcoming walk-in interview events held every Wednesday from 10 to 12. This is a chance for you to connect with our team members, maybe even some of them that are on the call today face-to-face. So you can ask them questions in person, explore all of the career paths that are available to you within AdventHealth. We will also have a hiring event, which I know that link was shared in the chat today. So be sure to register for that, happening June 22nd. More information for that will also be sent out to everyone that is registered for the event. So look out for that email and ensure that you register as soon as you can. But thank you again to our panelists. Thank you for those joining, and we do wish you all the best on your professional journey. And we hope to see you at one of our upcoming Walk-in Wednesday events or upcoming hiring events. Thank you all so much and have a great rest of your day. Take care.